How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost?
Hello, besties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about a very important topic about the cost of living. No matter where you turn, it's a topic you can't avoid. From rent to groceries, utilities, and even those little everyday purchases, it feels like everything is getting harder to afford. It's not just a conversation anymore, it's a reality. So let's break it down. How does it affect us? And why it is something we need to address. So stick around. Okay, so guys, I put the videos together so that you watch and learn, and I'll be back to share my true sense what I think about today's video.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant. Okay, so there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
So I need to come up with $4,000 by April 20th in order to secure a cheaper apartment that I'm looking into. They want $250 per cat for a pet deposit. Why do I have 3 cats? $120 for the application fee already. I saw someone else do this on TikTok with their student debt. She went live and everybody donated roses and she was able to pay off $20,000 in student debt. I think 1 rose counts as $1, so if I get 4,000 roses, I can move into my apartment. That is more affordable. Do I think this is going to work? Absolutely not. But am I going to try it? Yeah, because I'm out of ideas. So if you see me go live, that's what's going on. Come and hang out in the chat. You don't have to donate, but that's where I'll be all day. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be an interesting experiment, but it's worth a shot, I guess. I'll see you guys there.
If you are not struggling financially right now, then you need to consider yourself completely blessed. Don't even consider yourself. You are completely blessed. Every time I check my local mom group on Facebook, I see requests or people asking where they can get some financial assistance to pay utilities or assistance with rent. And it's concerning because these people are working full-time jobs and they just can't make things work right now. For example, this morning, a woman posted she's an RN working 2 jobs and still is struggling. I know we're all complaining about how expensive things are. For me, personally, my car insurance doubled in August. I was paying around $140 a month, and now I'm paying $280 for 2 vehicles, and I'm 1 driver. And I have never had a claim. There was no reason for the increase other than they just increased me. On top of that, Florida Power and Light rules the entire state of Florida now. They bought out Gulf Power, and since then, all I ever hear about from people is how astronomical their utility bills are. Everyone is trying to find ways to save money, But as soon as we save money in one area, something else goes up. So it's just kind of like we're sliding this scale back and forth, and it's actually like increasing. We're never saving, no matter how hard we try. Like, I stopped eating out with my kids. Obviously, eating out is super expensive, but I went almost a month no eating out, and it was still a struggle. And if you made it this far, I don't mean this to be like a pity party thing. I'm figuring it out. But last Friday, my birthday, my boss cut my hours in half. So yeah, I guess this is also like a PSA to people who aren't struggling right now. Don't be tone deaf, because you never know what's going on behind the scenes. If you start to notice behavior changes and lifestyle changes, I can promise you it's because people are being proactive, or I don't know, maybe reactive to their financial situation. It's just a mess.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost?
We're not. That's the simple answer. We're not. I don't know what's higher these days, rent or groceries. You can't even go into no grocery store and get three things, $100. We're not. We're not thriving. We are not thriving. Not even a little bit.
How are people affording life?
We're not. I'm a pharmacist. So I work in pharmaceuticals as a full-time job. I have a side business in event planning. I have a side business in social media consulting. And then right now I'm house sitting and taking care of these 4 dogs for some extra cash. And I'm still not surviving.
So that's a video, guys. So I'm just here also to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. Okay, why is it so hard for some people to afford for the cost of living? Because it has gone high, guys, like really. So let's get into it, like what I think. Okay, so the invisible struggles. First of all, let's talk about the invisible struggles people are facing. We are trying to keep up appearances, right? But behind closed doors, many are making tough choices, like deciding between paying the electricity bill or buying healthy food. It's stressful, and yet we feel like we have to act like everything is fine. The problem is the struggle is not about money, it's about mental health too. Feeling like you're constantly falling behind can weigh on you, and that's something we don't talk about enough. Okay, another thing is the everyday impact. The rising cost of living is not just hitting big expenses, it's sneaking into every corner of your lives. Have you noticed how even something as small as coffee feels like luxury these days? How are you going out with friends? Come with guilty because you're thinking about that next bill. It's this little moment that make us realize how much things have changed. We're all adjusting, but at what cost? The simple joy of life now come with a high fee price tag. Okay, why can't we escape it? So why is this such a universe issue? Because it's everywhere. Whether you're single, married, a parent, or just starting out there, cost of living touches every aspect of your life. It's not just about inflation or wages, it's a system we live in. And the truth is that there's no quick fix. That's why people are finding creative ways to survive, budgeting like never before, picking up side hustles, or even moving to cheaper areas. It's a constant battle to adapt, and honestly, it shouldn't have to be this way. Okay, so finding the perspective. But here's the thing: while it's easy to feel hopeless, it's important to take a step back and find some perspective. What can we control? How we can support one another? Even small changes like being more mindful of spending or sharing resources with your community can make a difference. It's not about pretending things are not hard, it's about finding ways to navigate through them together. And let's not forget to call out the system that make this so hard for everyone. Change that with conversation, and that's why we are here. Okay, so what do you think we can do? How has the cost of living impacted your life, and what are you doing to adapt it? Let's share in our experiences in the comment section. And remember, you're not alone in this. We are all in together. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe. So a lot of people are failing to pay their water bills. People are failing to pay electricity. People are failing to pay house rent. Okay, people have ended up being in streets. Others have been chased out by their landlords. Like they can't afford to pay because the economy is not good. Okay, even if people are working, but they're not getting money enough to to pay all these cost. Okay, this is why people are moving from their countries, coming back to Africa to come and live in Africa, because the cost of living in Africa is so low. Okay, so I think a lot of people have been suffering. Okay, people been coming on TikTok and share their experiences. The house rent has gone high. There's someone who came in TikTok and how I came to address how much the landlord does raise the fee for the house rent. Okay, she was paying $800. Now they have raised to $1,500. Imagine the difference. Okay, not raising by 50, not raising by 20, not raising by 15. They're raising it way, way up. So people decided, like, okay, I can't afford this life. I can't afford. Let me just start living in my car. We've seen a lot of people living in their cars because they can't afford house rent. People have no money. It's very hard people to get money. Okay. So yeah, so that's what's really happening. That's a truth that we need to face at the moment, because it's very hard to be out there. So you need to be thankful if you have a house, you're sitting well, and you can work and come back home. And you need to be thanking God for that, because people are going through a lot at this moment. Okay. So guys, I think this is a video for you today. Kindly share in your comment section. Okay, how uh hard is it for you to afford the cost of living? Because I know the cost of living in the USA is insane at the moment, and we have to know how to budget and